and today I am joined by that girl Kai.
Hi.
All right, so can you give me a little introduction to yourself and what you do, where you're from, all that good stuff?
Okay. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I am 23 years old. I am a model, and I am new to the Charlotte area.
All right, sweet. Where can we find you on socials?
You can find me at that girl Kai, which is DAT girl KY.
All right, and I thought I could be close enough, and I am not. Therefore, the best are going on. All right. So today's episode, we are talking all about community, and that is such an important thing. No matter where you are and what you're from, no matter what industry you're in, I mean, modeling, influencing, music, even business, it really does not matter.
Yeah.
Community is everything. I mean, that is how you like build upon yourself at all times.
Yeah.
So, I want to know our very first question, what does community mean to you?
Community means to me, I feel like support. I feel like some type of backing in whatever you choose, whether it's modeling, whether it's business, you're gonna always need that support, whether you sell windows or runways.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like community is important because you tend to reach different, how can I say, ethnicities, nationalities, different things like that.
Okay.
And you can also build your own community as well.
Absolutely.
You can be born inside of a family and not really your family, and you gotta build your own community. So that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's very, very important though, especially when you have someone with a strong mind who doesn't quit at what they do or who wants to really reach for what they want to accomplish. You
Okay.
have to have that because, yeah.
So, piggybacking off of that, it's
Mhm.
definitely possible to build a community.
Yes.
Do you think it's easy to build a community with the right people?
Absolutely not. Um,
Care to elaborate on that?
I feel like in the midst of you creating a community, you're always gonna find those fake people. You're gonna find the real people. It's gonna come with a lot of hurt. It's gonna come with a lot of lessons learned.
Okay.
You just have to know how to stay true to yourself,
Okay.
know what you want out of the community, and have your own mind and your own backbone. Like, you just don't let anybody easily influence you.
Right.
And yeah.
All right. Since having been in Charlotte, do you think you've been exposed to what you were just talking about, like with the fake community and with the you think they're there for one part of the community and then they turn out to be a part of another community?
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of people put on a mask when they first
Okay.
meet you, especially if they know like you're out of town or you're not familiar with this area. It's like, well, I could put on this persona, but I really want to know my friends during the good and the bad, or
Absolutely.
anybody that I work with during the good and the bad, because I don't want to come to you in a bad moment and I'm feeling good, and it's like, yeah. So
Suddenly you're in two different places and it doesn't add up at all.
yeah, I
Right.
feel like when it comes to the people in Charlotte, I feel like a lot more people do need to stay more true to themselves
Okay.
because I feel like a lot of it is for a facade. Like it's for whose meetups are better. It's like
Yeah.
who can who can basically model better. It's not about that. And just to touch a little bit on that, little bit of basis,
Right.
when it comes to this modeling industry or whether you're a photographer or anything, we're supposed to be together.
Right.
We're supposed to be together. Whether you're doing amateur shooting or you're doing Vogue, I'm quite sure the amateur model is going to come to somebody that's doing Vogue and ask them genuine questions of how they get on Vogue too. Um,
I think in this
if it's not a
community-
pageant, there's no winners.
Right.
Like,
I feel like in this community especially, there's been, from what I've noticed, and I've only been modeling for about a year, you've been modeling much longer than I have.
yeah.
In this community, I feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping. From what I've seen, there's a lot of, if I reach out to certain models, and I won't name drop of course, but when I reach out to certain models, it's usually, hey, how do I get into this fashion week? Who do I reach out for this? How do I
Right.
get in touch with this photographer? Hi,
We have a
Wednesday.
little special guest.
We have a Wednesday. Yes, we are. She's been in every single podcast episode. I will say she has popped into every single camera. With every single like most models that I'll reach out to with, hey, who do you work with? If they are super upscale and super like you have to pay 100 or something more,
Right.
they're not going to tell you. It's
Yeah.
very like, oh, like don't worry about it. You wouldn't want to know. It's a lot. Like you don't, and it's very strange because like that's not something you want to say to another model, especially
Right.
community is such an important thing that if you're doing well and you want the people in your community to succeed, you should be saying, hey, here's an event I'm going to. I would love if you came with me.
Right.
I'd love for you to see this.
Right. And I think the most fun I got out of this modeling thing, which is why I'm grateful I met my friend, she definitely introduced me to a lot more when it comes to me being anti. It's like, get out the house. Let's go to events. Let's just see how
That
it is.
part.
Or like, I would definitely shadow her into the modeling. And like she said, I've been doing this longer, but that doesn't mean I know everything.
I will fully die on the hill that nobody knows everything. That's one of those, you learn something new every day. Whoever came up with that absolutely meant it because it's so real. There is truly something new to learn every day, even if it's one of those like what seems to be minuscule things. It's not minuscule. You're going to learn something one way or another. Something's gonna be said. Something's gonna be done.
Right.
So we're gonna go on to the next question. Question number 3: what is the biggest struggle you faced in terms of community? Yeah.
When it comes to community support.
Support?
Yeah, I feel like support was the biggest thing that was kind of iffy about me because granted when I moved from home I still had my support there.
Right.
It's just that when you're a model or in general in business anything, you're gonna wanna have to pull your pull your connections down, and it's like when I first got here I honestly gave up on modeling. I'm not gonna hold you guys.
That
But
part.
then I met Abby and it was like, oh, it's a couple of meetups and it's this and that and this and that, and it's like,
Well, because I feel like the thing is, with the right people, you're not going to like feel like it's a job. That's
Yeah.
like the whole part. That's the whole thing that you're supposed to know, is that it's not supposed to be a job. At the end of the day, you're supposed to love what you do,
yes,
and you are supposed to feel it so strongly in your chest that it's like, I adore what I'm doing so much right now that I couldn't imagine what life would be like in any other way.
right,
So for people to so quickly turn it into, oh, this is a competition. Oh, this is such a, like, I need to be better than this person. I need to gatekeep this because I know this, or I need to hide this meetup because I love these photographers more.
right.
Like-
It doesn't make sense. Like,
Especially with people that like the new people that come into town that are like, oh, I came from here, I need to start fresh.
right,
This is what I did back at home. Who can help me?
right,
You should be like people, not you, but like
right.
people should be so quick to be like, holy shit, I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait, I was in your shoes at one point.
Right.
Here's what I did. Which is probably why I sent you like 18 Pinterest boards.
But you know
like,
what's so crazy
here you
is
go.
that a lot of people that I did meet from Charlotte, I understand now. And my mom used to say it a lot, but she used to say it in like a negative way. She used to be like, well, people only argue with you when you're in the South because they never been anywhere. But it really opens your eyes to see that if I ask a person, oh no, I've been in Charlotte my whole life. So why are you
Yeah.
in competition with the next person that's been from Charlotte their whole life?
No, that
Like-
part exactly. Like that
like, it-
doesn't track to me.
It
Like,
doesn't make any sense.
2
to
+ 2 is not 10.
It's but no, I definitely feel like when it comes to Charlotte creatives, please stop acting Hollywood.
That part.
Please
Actually.
stop acting Hollywood. I don't care how good my fucking pictures look. I promise you, I'm still a human at the end of the day.
That part
So,
entirely.
You guys trying to be faking the funk like we all don't live in the same city is outrageous.
no,
Please
literally.
stop it.
Especially when you know good and well, like, Charlotte is not that big of a place.
It's not.
Charlotte, compared to places, even Atlanta, people are trying to say, oh, Charlotte's the next Atlanta. No, don't.
No.
Don't pull that.
No.
Don't you dare. Please.
No.
Please don't.
Um,
So it really gets to me. It irks me so bad when people say that, because, like, I've been to Atlanta. This ain't it. Let me be so frank with you, dog. No.
just go. This is how I think about modeling. You get an idea,
Mm-hmm.
a creative idea.
Mhm.
You want to mimic it or you want to recreate it. And once you recreate it, you know what you just made? Art, bitch. So let it go.
Heavy on that.
Let it go.
The weirdest thing to me is when people instantly want to pull the...
You should not ask a person to what? To be Hollywood. Ask more to be transparent from one individual to another. Trust
100
me.
part.
Trust me. We do that all the time.
I feel like that's one of the problems, is that when you... From what I've learned in the Charlotte community, because I started in the music field and things got weird because people go from, like, oh, here's what I do, to just being really strange. Originally, it started with, I want to ask this person how to be a better person in the terms of, oh, how do I go from this to that?
Right.
Like, how do I get better? Who do I need to get in contact with? Where do I go from here? But they don't tell you.
Right.
They dance around the topic and they don't actually give you answers, and you're like, oh, why am I asking anymore? And then you try to find somebody new. Like, the gatekeeping thing.
I think the gatekeeping
easiest.
thing is due to
It's become so popularized.
It's due to the favoritism. Like, for example, if somebody has a photographer, they shoot all the time. 99.9% of the time, those shoots are free.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, how can I shoot with this photographer? Da, da, da. Oh, well, I don't know if he's gonna negotiate the same price, which I ain't asked all that.
That part.
I didn't ask all that. I see the work. I want the work.
That part. I've had so many people, like, there have been certain photographers that I've worked with, and the first thing they do is, oh, this shoot's free. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, thank you, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And other models will ask me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I shoot with so-and-so, and they're amazing, and I adore them. And they're like, holy shit, you're right. Thank you so much for telling me. Other people wouldn't give me that. And I'm like, the hell do you mean? And they're like, no, because they would tell me that they charge and da-da-da-da. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
The weirdest thing, people love to preach about community being so important and then refuse to create community. They want to put a wedge so badly there, and it's as if people are trying to create...
Clock that motherfucking T. It's just given that, like, everybody is trying to create a competition, and now it's getting worse because it's the competition of meetups, and even if it's not the competition of meetups, it's the competition of, oh, is this photographer taking my models? First of all, let me explain something else to y'all.
Nobody is your model.
Freelance modeling means I can come and go as I please. There's no me signing to you. There's no none of that. Until I see a price behind that contract, I'm not signed to nobody. Okay?
Heavy on that. If there is a price, if there is a contract. And the weirdest part is, if a photographer says, oh, here's a price for this shoot, like, I'll pay you this, and there's no contract behind it, it falls on both parties. I will fully say this because people love refusing accountability. If a photographer says, here is this price that I'm giving you for this specific shoot, but does not give you a contract, you're not obligated.
That's it. It's just taking a picture.
You're not obligated to stay their specific model. But if they say, here's the price for every shoot we do, here is the contract, I would like for you and I to stay exclusive to each other. I don't want you shooting with others as much as you shoot with me unless the price is higher and unless you want to change or break this agreement.
Right.
Until there is an agreement and a price that is set for both sides, freelance is freelance. And I feel like that's a huge thing that people are like, oh, your boundaries are negotiable.
No way.
That's a huge thing that I've noticed lately, especially with a couple of group chats that we're both in that we both left, is that people love to pull the whole, oh, until otherwise stated, your boundaries are negotiable. And as both of us being freelance models, It's got to be the strangest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, because you're not about to tell me what to do. I'm sorry.
I'm not about to be told by anybody that my boundaries are something that can be negotiated, especially when there's been nobody that has said, here's a price, here's a contract, here's who you can get in contact with, here's an agent, here's an agency.
Manager, all of that. Nothing. I don't see nothing.
The thing with the community around here, and I put quotations around that because people love to call it community, but it's not community, because as soon as you need support being the big word that people hate to come to terms with, once support is involved, everybody runs with their tail tucked between their fucking legs.
I swear.
And
And the support doesn't have to cost $1. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Support costs nothing. A repost costs nothing. I promise you.
Nothing.
A like, a share,
a comment
costs nothing.
Reposting it to your story, even a slight little, hey, check them out, not a damn thing. And I feel like people are really awful about that. I don't mean to, I refuse to call anybody out on it because I know everybody's just trying to make their way through life. But there are certain people that will preach so much about community being so important, but as soon as you specifically reach out to them asking for support or community, or, hey, I noticed you said this, I'd like this, I'd like the reciprocation because I did this, not in a, I did this for you, I expect this from you, but in a, you said this, will you follow up on your word? Will you be true to your word about it? Suddenly they turn around and run the other way. Suddenly it turns into okay, so your support is transactional.
Right.
Your support is only what can another person do for you.
That part.
And that's one of the biggest issues with community. Once again, I put that in quotations for those that are only listening and not seeing. That's the issue with community around here that I've noticed. Because even when I went to New York for New York Fashion Week, I got thrown into group chats with certain models, and they were instantly like, oh my God, girl, send me your posts. I'll start reposting them instantly.
Yes, that's why most of my love come from New York. Shout out to New York. Most of my love come from New York, and that's why I really, and it kind of is the same thing now, which I almost posted on my story yesterday. I was like, wow, it's kind of like back home. I'm in New Jersey, but most of my support is from New York. And it's like, I'm in North Carolina, I'm in Charlotte, but most of my support comes from South Carolina. So it's like...
And it's weird because for people that preach so much about community being so important, it is so scarce. And that's one of those things that it's like, how did this become a thing? Because people love to preach about, connect with people. You need to reach out to people. You need to collaborate with people. The problem is...
Community/support is really based on consistency. Remember, some people want you to win. Some people want you or don't want you to win until you win.
That part entirely. Because people love... The thing is, they won't cheer for you while you're making progress. They'll cheer for you once the progress has been made and you get to that part.
Yeah.
Nobody, other than you, because you've been there every step of the way, there were a few people, save for a couple of photographers of mine that have been there since the very beginning. There were only a few people and, very close friends that know about my modeling.
Right.
Not even certain family members, not even my family would cheer for my modeling. And then I made it to New York Fashion Week. And then everybody was, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I've been here for you since the beginning. I've this, that, the third. No, you haven't. You haven't, you know you haven't. But they're like, you have such a strong community behind you. No, I don't. I have 7 or 8 people that have done the absolute most, moved hell or high water for me to know that I am loved and supported. And I will forever love them to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
But people love to say, oh, I've been here since the beginning. What is the beginning?
You know how many people I could really say that to? On some real shit.
4 people. Max.
No, it's probably more than that. It's a lot of people I could say that to.
I thought we were doing it the other way around. People that could say that to you, genuinely meaning it. I thought we were doing that. Oh, sorry. I thought we were doing that the other way around. Whoa. I thought you meant, you know how many people could say that they've genuinely been here for me and then actually meant that shit?
Oh, no,
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh,
okay.
No.
You mean it the other way. How many people?
I mean, how many people I've stuck my foot in the mud with, and it's like...
Everybody.
Once you take off in the dirt, I'm just left behind, and they're like...
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's weird because that's the whole... rounding right back around to the point of this fucking podcast. People love to claim community until you need community. That needs to be the title of this podcast.
Right.
People love to claim community until you need community. Not to get depressing, but I'll start this from the from the moment my dad died. People love to say, "I'll be here if you need anything." And maybe 3 people were there when people in my family actually needed something. And that can be the same for the creative community here. Because even the people that reached out and they were like, hey, if you ever need anything, if you ever want a collaboration, if you ever want this, that, and the third, if you ever like want to use art to take your mind off of it, who was there? You. Who was there? Like 4 photographers at the most, and they are the ones that I will. They're first ones that I'll reach out to because.
I want to elaborate on his comment.
What was the comment? Wait, read it out.
I have strangers that cheer me on more than people right behind me.
Heavy on that.
I have a theory where it takes yourself to come out the fire, barely hard for people. We got it. Like, this is just episode, not even one of one, but it's episode of one of many, because we're going to obviously be doing, like, reviews and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm definitely taking a break from modeling because... like, I just have to. I have to take a little breather. But, yeah.
I've noticed it a lot, especially with one of the things we talked about the other night. There are people that will purposefully put meetups and collabs on the very same day just to see who will show up to their turnout instead of other people's. And it's turned into, great, now I'm staying home because there is no way that anybody's catching me showing up at one instead of the other. Because now it's turned into, this isn't community, this is a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is. And it's secret animosity out there. It's
that part. Animosity. And the problem is, if you go onto their accounts, you see that they're following each other, so you know good and well that they're watching each other do these things.
Yeah.
And you know that there's this secret, sideways, whatever it is, and it's like, why are you doing that? Yeah. Why would you do that knowing good and damn well that there is somebody in the same position as you? I've watched 7 photographers at the same time because I think 4 of them were going to one event, 2 of them were going to another event, one of them was creating their own event, but then he ended up moving on to one of the events because they were like, actually, I'd prefer the collaboration over the competition. And that has stuck in my head so hard, I want to put that shit on a mug.
Yes.
I'd prefer the collaboration over a competition. Hang on, I need my notebook. Because to me, that means everything. And to think that it's been so, like, casual to normalize a competition is insane to me, especially in this industry where it's supposed to be more important to be community.
Exactly.
Like, what are you competing against? Like you said, if it's not a pageant, there's no competition.
I swear to God. And it's like again, we're all in Charlotte. The only thing we pay different is the rent prices. That's it. But other than that, man, some of y'all haven't even really been nowhere for you to even feel like this little box is competition. You have to go out. You have to go out.
Don't get me wrong, podcasting and stringing fundamentals get you distracted. I'll just group up, come along. Remember, use your main niche, see your subcategories.
Yeah, this is gonna be our main niche, and like the reviews and stuff on the side, that's gonna be like kind of like the sub.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to pop to the next question because we've turned. Well, no, because these are actually super important things that we've gone off on because it's such a common thing to watch people go from, oh, here is the community that I'm supposed to be a part of. Mm-hmm. Oh, never mind. This is a more important thing that I need to do.
Right.
Oh my God, wait, I can go off and do this on my own and I can do it better than others.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to try to go off and do it on my own. In the past 4 months, 2025 as a whole, I've watched about 8 people do it. Mm-hmm. And I've watched them all go from the same meetup to creating their own thing. And the original, like, creator of the certain meetup that I'm talking about has
parties and all of that.
Yes, parties, meetups, all of the things.
Yes.
he reached out and was like, did I do something wrong? No. These people got greedy. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It went from, he started with maybe 10 people, and then it got bigger. And it was growing, and it was great, and it was genuinely awesome. And then people got cocky and said, no, I'm better. I'm better. I can do more. I can get more people. Have they? No. Will they? The way that they treat people? No. They treat people as a number. Team, close friends, business partners, etc. Start small. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And that's
why we kicked off this whole thing, because trust me, we gave it a couple more events, we gave it a couple more meetups.
7.
I was yes.
I've been counting.
I was like, Abby, I'm gonna crash out if it doesn't go good. And it's like, yeah, me too.
Well, and it's been so many times, and of course the first, I think 3 things didn't go too bad.
Yeah.
And then I think 2 after that, stuff started changing up, and people started throwing in disrespectful opinion and like trying to argue with the
that's
organizers.
Another thing. I just want to leave this little note to the side because I haven't been able to get this out
Side note.
in probably 2 weeks since it's been said about me. But let me let you know something. You disrespect me as a photographer, you will never get a chance to work with me ever again. So that's all I gotta say. And if you know, you know. And it's in the pudding because I haven't been coming to those little meetups. But go ahead.
I will put a piece in that as a model and as a freelancer, even as an influencer. I'll make a side note on that entirely. If you, as a photographer, as a business, as a other creator, collaborator, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you are, whatever that is, you know,
the influencer.
I'm dead. Whatever it is that you are, to go behind someone's back, disrespect them openly, say something about it, but then smile to their face and act like there is no problem.
And then not to mention, after you came for me, I still showed up to an event that no other models wanted to show up to except for me and Abby.
This is true.
So
to turn around and go from being so blatantly disrespectful to turning around and trying to be kind, that's one of those things that nobody is going to understand or respect. And it's problematic on so many different levels because that's when you start losing respect from everybody. That's when you start losing respect from those that you originally worked with, those that could be coming to work with you, because this is a whole other thing about community. It's all about connections. Let me give you an example. There was a project that multiple projects that we were supposed to be working on, and in 3 different ways, one of us got into one, and this was for 3 different opportunities entirely. One of us got into one, and the other did not. And upon those entrances, the first thing that happened was the organizers would look at follower count, and it turned into a very strange, great, now that I have the most popular or the longest worker or the most seasoned, now you can be the best, you can be featured, you can be the top of the top.
All of that.
And it wasn't a respect thing. It was here's the power that I hold right now in this moment. But the problem is, as soon as word got out that those sketchy things were happening behind the scenes, what happened? The community that was actually there stepped forward. Because as soon as I told them about some of the things that happened between the first specific event, 4 of those photographers dropped out.
That's crazy. You know what's crazy? I don't know if it was 7 or 10, but out of all those photographers, most of them already followed me.
Yep.
Already followed me or began to follow me, and I wasn't even at the event.
And one of the best parts was, in community, it's about your connections. It's about how close of a person you are to another person. It's not about your follower count.
Or popularity.
It is about the genuine connection and the genuine things that you can give to other people. And I feel like that's one of the things that influencers and social media personalities and celebrities, some of them just don't understand. You have to genuinely connect with somebody to further work with them.
Right.
Like with us.
Mm-hmm.
Even with us, the first time that we shot together, I was like, I'm not sure how this is gonna work because I didn't know you like that.
Right.
We genuinely needed to know each other. But now we're like, what?
Right.
Six duo shoots in.
Right.
And I don't think there's a single one now where you have us serious through all of the shoots. And at least the last like 6 pictures, we're gonna be goofing off. Because we can genuinely connect, and that's the whole point of having people that you have that community with.
If you feel that followers don't count, you might want to reiterate. What I mean by when you're coming from, now it's different from the influencer aspect because they're going to want to see videos of you collabing with people. They're going to want to see you making your own foundation for stuff. And the same with modeling as well, especially
Absolutely.
freelance modeling. Like people, I don't think people understand that. Like freelance modeling is not I hit up an agent, I hit up this person. No, I'm making my own moves. I'm going to my own events. Like all of this.
You know what? I can back that up with what he just said because I was just telling somebody about this earlier because he instantly said, "You're really famous. You're literally famous." I can back up that statement right there. The follower count.
I was gonna elaborate just a little piece, but what I was saying was like the following. This goes back to what Kurt was saying in the comments too. Your support is gonna come from strangers. So the following, it definitely matters because it's the pull of how many people outside of what you know see you and constantly see you and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But what we mean is, bro, coming out the mud and like being by ourselves or like it's just hard. It's really really hard. It really is. And
exactly.
You don't get a lot of like-minded models like this because like we said, everybody want to be in the competition. Everybody want to see who's the best model and it's like
exactly. But again, collaboration over competition. Now, one of the things...
And you can look... I'm sorry. Just
Go for it.
You can look fire with another model that you think you're in competition with. Please. So...
No, literally.
Yeah.
So, a conversation that was had earlier today even, that goes completely with what you're saying. So, for people that are just listening in instead of watching, the comment says, if you feel that followers don't count, you might want to reiterate that. Which, real. And... a guy earlier today said, "You're literally famous." I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "I don't know. It seems like you are." I said, "Haha, I don't think I am."
34K is a lot.
He said, "IDK, 34K is a lot." To which my response was, I mean, I appreciate you're noticing the follower count, but honestly, I don't see it as a reflection of fame. To me, it's a number that comes from sharing things that connect with people and resonate in one way or another. I'm just a regular person that has a lot of hobbies that some people relate to and share. Not some big deal. In reality, I am not a big deal. I have a follow count. Sure, everybody does.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I am a human. You're a human. They are humans.
Yeah.
They are looking to form a community.
And you know my greatest quote is, if I cut you or you cut me, either of us bleed purple, blue, black, or green, let me know because as far as I know, we all bleed red. So
Hella on that.
It's like...
And it's weird that so many people want to act like they're so much better than others because that's just not the fucking case. At the end of the day, we are all humans. What is the issue here? What is the problem here? What is the switch up that has suddenly happened that makes people believe, like, especially with influencers, especially with creatives, especially around here, that want to pull the I'm so much higher and mightier than you. I have a higher follower count than you. I can do this better than you. I can talk to these people better than you. I have connections in higher places better than you. Okay, sure, you have this, that, and the third. How do you treat them? What is it like when the cameras aren't on you? How do you text them? Do you hang out with them? Do you do what we do? Do you go have coffee?
No.
Do you have game nights after that to decompress? Do you make dinner for each other? Do you hang out? Like, do you genuinely have a community? Or do you just have people that you'll randomly reach out to once in a blue moon to say, hey, check out my content. I'm doing so much better than you in this life. I have more followers than you in this life. Here's what I can do in this life that you don't do.
Right.
Because people love to say community is so important. But as soon as you need community, where are they?
Nowhere to be found.
Genuinely.
But it's cool. Just like Kurt said in the comments, we're going to start from little to big. I'm definitely excited for this new journey that we're about to be on when it comes to podcasting, because we not only have this podcast, well, her podcast that she created, which is Creative Connects, but we have another part that I will be taking over, a different segment, which is called If the Boot Fits. We got a lot of hot takes. That's going to be kind of like our hot take moment.
It's so important.
And
those are such important things too, because it's not just a like, oh, we're calling people out. It's a genuine, hey, we need to talk about this as a community.
Yeah,
that's one of those things, right. As a community.
Because there's a lot of things that's not spoken up on unless it's either in private or it's just shady business all the way around.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm definitely, and yeah.
I'm excited to see that, because I feel like with this, it's going to be one of those, here people will hold others accountable, and it's not going to be in a toxic, oh, you did this, you said this, here's how this went. It's going to be a, hey, I feel like a lot of things happened here and a lot of things happened with this. Like, even with the meetup thing.
Yeah.
Because I ended up reaching out to that one creator. And I was like, hey, I really don't fuck with the way you purposefully put it on the same day as this creator to spite them.
Right.
And they were like, oh, I don't know why you're attacking me. And I was like, this wasn't an attack. You speak so highly on community, but then as soon as there
is this the same creator I'm talking about?
Yes. I said as soon as there is a community event, you needed to go 45 minutes away and start your own event and sell tickets for 4 times the price
at the same time.
A free event.
At the same time.
At the same exact time, from the same exact hours. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to hold you accountable and ask you a question on why you did that.
Literally.
And they couldn't give me an answer.
But we could tell by that because we already had the conversation of how they don't even know different venues for real.
Yeah, like, that was a thing. That was a thing.
Like, nobody wants to shoot at a park 24/7. But,
never. Oh, yeah. I was talking about the... Okay.
Huh?
The tickets.
That
one.
And the one that 10 people showed up to, and the one that the studio winner I was gonna I shot at this past weekend.
Yes. The problem is that they were so quick to say, oh, you don't know what you were talking about. It wasn't like that. And I said, could you enlighten me? Mm-hmm. And they instantly said, there's nothing to enlighten you about. And I said, you speak so highly on community, but as soon as I ask you to do an event with the community, you say no and go after financial gain. Mm-hmm. I said, I'd like to know why you did that, because you were in the poll that said you'd be there for the free community event.
Right.
I'd like to know what changed.
Right.
And why you suddenly dropped $2,000 on this event. And, of course, it instantly turned into a, why are you attacking me? And I said, I'm not. I was trying to hold accountability, and they were like, well, I had a lot of photographers. There were 3. I had a lot of photographers, and I had a lot of models. There were 7. And I said, oh, community, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
People really don't realize, hey...
It turns into community versus... Because this wasn't community.
It's selfish. It's not even a community base. It's selfish. It's
was nowhere near community. That was what financial gain can I get out of this?
What can I gain? How many people got? How many followers? All of that. And then it fluctuated me when I told you, when I told you the beginning, the feature models, and then when it turned, the count, what it turned to?
The accountability, folks. Communication. That's the whole part of this podcast that we're starting, is holding people accountable. Oh, you weren't here for the quote. Yeah. The quote was, I'd rather do collaboration than be in competition. And unfortunately, in the Charlotte, creatives community, if I can even call it a community anymore, it's turned more into a competition of, ooh, how many models can I shoot with? How many photographers can I work with? How many people can I work with in a certain week? And then it's like certain models, I've noticed this in my time as a model, there are some models, I'll start working with somebody and then I'll watch 8 different models work with the same photographers. You've seen it. I know you've seen it too. We've had this conversation weekly. See, it's one thing to have an event for working, but once it turns into how much can I make off of this, it's no longer. That's what we were saying. That's what we were saying earlier.
Thank you.
It stops being an event for the community as soon as there is a, oh, by the way, here's a who can do the best cover competition.
Oh,
Here's the prize. Here's this. Here's that. Here's
you're talking about
exactly what you think I'm talking about. Yes. Here's this. Here's that. Here's what I want to gain out of this. Here's how much money we made off of this at the end of the day. Why, if you are purposefully creating an event because you know you are gaining money from it and nobody else is, why would you purposefully boast about the earnings that you've made in the end? Because
Oh, that's what happened?
that's what happened. The block button was hit very quickly.
Oh, okay, that's rude.
Oh yes, no, I was
That's rude.
livid. The fact that it went from collaboration and community strictly into a competition, all 8 of those models reached out to me like, hey, can you vote for me in the competition? All you have to do is like it and share it to your story. And I was like, it's all, you know good and well that it was called a networking event, not a competition.
My point exactly.
How are you going to call it a networking event and then call it a competition after it's done and over with? I would love to know what the original intent was from the get-go.
The original intent, I told you, based off of the model, and which is crazy because I've worked with at least, including yourself, 3 to 4 models on that list.
Mhm.
So it was just really off of
how many people can I get to show their faces that have a high follower
how many.
count?
Yeah,
Let's see.
basically.
I used to host an event, loved them. Extra
money always went.
Food and drinks for everyone. Wasn't
worried
worried
about making anything.
And that's exactly the opposite of what happened for this event because it was instantly, oh, I need to charge for 4 times the amount of what the event space costs and nobody's getting any food because that has to be put towards buying tables for 2 vendors, only 2 vendors. Only 2 of them, and that was the favoritism. Because the favoritism that happens in this community comes very quickly, and you don't know about it until the rug is swept out from under your feet. Because very quickly, I was chosen as a featured model, and she was chosen to pay like what? 25 bucks at first.
Bucks, and then I was like, yeah, not my type of mojo. And she's like, well, can you pay 15? I'm like, yeah, I'll pay 15 close to the date. And you know what I did closer to the date? Made sure I got in that event with no problem. And then on top of that, we still ain't go. So
the worst part of it all was that it was supposed to be an event for the community that turned into nothing because it wasn't.
That's why I don't go to a lot of the events. Once I see I gotta pay $100 plus
just attend and nothing else. No, I'm out. Exactly.
And then when you get into the event, no food, no drinks. You're gonna have to. And then if the event's at like a restaurant, you're still gonna have to pay. So who am I paying and what am I paying for?
Because what does community mean when there is no support? The thing about, especially with us, as soon as I find the photographer friends or the model friends that I know, you best believe they are the first people I'm running to. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. Like yesterday, I have a perfect story for this. Yesterday, I went to a casting call in Camp North End.
Okay.
And you know Dream Antics, AJ?
You talking about the one that made the party?
Yes,
Okay.
the disco party.
Yeah, he was there?
He was there.
Okay.
He was the first person to get there, and he was the first guy to go up there. I sprinted up to him so quickly because he was the first guy that I ever shot with at Noda Art House.
Wow.
And he hugged me, and he was so quick to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. It's so good to see you.
Right.
The community behind that hug alone. How are you? What are you up to? Oh my God, I've seen your posts on social media. I share them whenever I can. It's so good to hear from you. I'm so proud of you.
It's been so many.
There's so many people that won't do that.
Yeah, so many instances where you'll see a model or a fellow model that you shot with or you've seen or whatever, and it's like, oh hey girl, it's like, hi.
and they instantly act like they don't know you, and it's the weirdest thing on this planet.
Okay.
It's the strangest thing. Whenever I know that I'm going to an event where I've seen my friends like it, I've seen people share it that I know, they are the first people I seek out because that's what you're supposed to do when you're in a community.
Literally.
You should be running to those people that you know the most, that you support the most, that you post on your story, that you want to instantly collaborate with.
Right.
Like, they are the ones that you're supposed to be like, holy shit, I've never seen somebody that I'm so proud of.
Right.
And then you run straight for them. But I've seen it here.
Because when she went to Paris Fashion Week,
Tears.
oh my god.
Tears.
Yes.
Whole time.
Oh my god, I'm like, oh,
Whole
my
time.
friend is embarrassed.
Oh my god. Like, I got back and that call was, oh my god, you were in Paris. And then we were instantly like, okay, so swim week.
Right.
And it became the plan. It was, how are we getting there? When are we getting there? What Airbnb, I can speak English, I swear. What are we renting? How are we doing this?
Right.
It was instantly, because I will fully die on the hill that a community starts with a friendship.
Yes.
A friendship between you and one other person.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be more than that at first. All
Yeah.
you really have to do is go, okay, me and this one person vibe really well. Oh my god, there's another person that we vibe with really well.
Yes.
Whoa, they know this person. This person hosts these events.
Right.
Whoa, we can go to that event.
Mm-hmm.
Let's meet these people. And suddenly, next thing you know, there's a bunch of you.
Yes.
There's so many of you, and finally you found your people, and you can collaborate with them, and you can do what you want to do with them,
Yes.
and you can hang out with them. And even if a couple of them break off, that's okay, because at the end of the day,
Everybody's still vibing with everybody.
exactly, we
Yeah.
have a certain group chat for Charlotte influencers, and one of them, I won't say names, they had a family member that was in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, hey, I'm going through some shit right now. I'm putting in commissions if anybody needs posters made right now.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
8 people commissioned him, got him a ticket to Raleigh 3 hours away to go see that dying family member so he could say goodbye.
Right.
That is what community is.
Right.
And I am like the first person to say
Ooh.
that was the most important thing to me, was to see that people could actually put aside, it wasn't even put aside their differences, but it was like, because you know how most people only send their content in there and there's no
Yeah.
real conversations anymore.
It's kind of like we had a time of like empathy, honestly.
Everybody came together for that moment and they were like, hey, here we go. And like, even with me, I sent extra money. I was like, hey, in case nobody else buys anything, I'm gonna send you 50 instead of 35 because
Right.
I know how important it is. I was lucky that my dad got brought home on hospice because I was able to hold his hand when he passed.
Right.
Had he have not gotten that ticket, he might not have been able to say goodbye to his grandma.
That's sad.
And that shit, like, if it was my grandma, I would have been torn to fucking shreds.
Yes.
Nobody would have heard from me for weeks.
He said Lakefront meetup coming soon. Okay.
Hand it over.
Right.
Hand it over. But
I
it's
definitely.
just one of those things where like community, especially in times of need, like I feel like people, and it's the weird thing that I want to switch up so bad. That's beautiful that people can. I was amazed, and it happened in another time because this was about a month and a half ago, maybe that it happened.
Yes. Like a month ago. Yeah.
A month or so ago.
Mhm.
And then I think the last time that we had such a random, beautiful community event like that was around Christmas. Everybody got together at Camp North End because they had that skating thing happening.
Right.
And it was just like a group of creatives all randomly trying to figure out how the hell to ice skate. It was very embarrassing. I looked like a baby deer on hardwood. But there was the community of like the random photographers that showed up and were like, hey. And it was
And
like, oh, hi.
I think that's would be the best work though, when you haven't worked with a photographer or like they see you and see a vision for themselves. It's kind of like
Exactly.
it feeds, because like I might not approach a photographer and be like, oh well, I see this and blah, 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 but
Exactly.
I get like a thrill out of a photographer saying, hey, you will be perfect for this shot. Can we like do this type of theme? And
Exactly.
yes, I love it.
Another thing, especially with like photographers and the community around photographers, I love the photographer community especially here in Charlotte, because a lot of them are more local than I originally believed.
Yeah, and a lot of them
A lot of them are friends
really,
too.
yes, a
It's
lot
really
of them are
cute.
friends. A lot of them are really searching for more work too. Like
They
you
are.
might see their portfolio and be like, oh my god, they're working back to back, but then you go there and work with them and be like, I need like consistent models.
That part. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I worked with them once or twice, and then I didn't really hear from them again. It's like, well, that's strange.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why when I first started that Pinterest board,
Mhm.
every photographer I work with, I'm like, hey, here's this Pinterest board that I have.
Right.
It's like 5,000 something pins. If you ever need an idea,
Right.
even if it's not me that you work with,
Mm-hmm.
use these.
Right.
I beg of you, because, like, to me, that's what community is.
Right.
Is to be able to give an idea, to give a vision, to give a, even if it's not me, if you have a duo idea, if you have a trio idea, if you have a group, if you have a solo, like, whatever it is, whoever it is, don't be afraid to chase that.
Yes,
And,
whatever vision you have, go after it and don't worry about what the next person is doing, because if that's the case, everybody, when you look up Google Images, everybody will look the same.
And that's what I'm
Like,
saying. God, there was a quote the other day that somebody told me that was like, be yourself, because if you're somebody else, what do we need you for? Genuinely. Like, if you're somebody else, if you're acting like somebody else, if you're looking like somebody else, if you're trying to impersonate, why are you here? We already have that person. Be yourself, because there is not another you.
literally.
And you should be celebrated for your differences, which is what makes community so great, is that it's so diverse.
that
like,
part.
You and I, when we
Yeah.
go into our shoots, you and I typically have the complete opposite aesthetic.
Yes, like we're contrast, but in like a good way. Like
Even when we had that flower field shoot, you had the off tan dress, I had the off white dress. They
Uh-huh.
looked very similar,
yes,
but the aesthetics were so, somehow we did things so differently, and it
Yes.
was very like
like we could come together and then you see the difference. Like you see the
exactly.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that was one of our most celebrated shoots. That one and the one where we made the headdresses.
Yes.
Because yours was the bright red, mine was the dark black, and it
Yes.
was so like, people were so quick to say, we need more of that in our community. We need the differences. We need to celebrate
Yeah.
the strangeness that comes out of, like, artists just going for it with no questions.
Right.
And of course, you and I, we're just so quick to be like, no questions,
Right.
I'm on board. Full dive in.
Yeah.
Diving in.
Like when is our thrifting day? Because that's
Head
it.
first. Like, with us, there is no, like, oh, we need to be careful about stepping on toes. We have this shoot idea, but no, if we have an idea, we're going straight for it. And
Yes.
if there is any community, it's going to be celebrated. And the fun thing is, community is who you hang out with. Like, even now, we have friends over there that are hanging out. We're about to do a game night with them right after. And they're so excited to celebrate this podcast coming back with us, because that's what a community does. They get with you, they celebrate with you, and they say, hey, it wasn't easy to do that, but I'm so fucking proud that you did.
Yes.
And we need more of that in Charlotte. And I
Yes.
will die on that hill, and I will purposefully make it to where, like, even if it takes forever and a half,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about it. I got forever and a half to do this shit.
But like I said, like I guess we've been so exhausted from, I guess the fake support or whatever you want to call it. That
It's a call to action to get some real community going, some real support going.
So we're definitely looking into doing more events, like modeling events.
Mhm.
We do have our photographers of choice, and you know,
Absolutely.
and I'm definitely excited for that. Especially with this, we're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff with this. I
This
really can't
podcast
wait.
is gonna be a fun.
I
This is
can't
gonna be a
wait.
fun little
We're
update.
gonna do cosplay. We're gonna do
It's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna.
yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of new updates. There's gonna be a lot of new things coming about, and hopefully a community does grow from this. There's gotta be. I mean, with however many billion people are in this world, there is no way in hell that there aren't people, especially in Charlotte, even in
Right.
South Carolina, because I mean, you know how close they are.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that there aren't like-minded individuals out there that are like, you know what? That's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Even right now, I could probably name 15 of them off right now. And that's just because I'm always bouncing around in group chats like,
Yeah.
hey, those that are strange and odd and interesting individuals, you're all my friends now.
Right.
I'm so quick to go and make a friend for being, like,
Yeah.
I'm so quick to want to create a community. I'm so quick to want to be able to celebrate people. But then there are certain people in communities that are like, oh, and they'll like at everybody, hey, this is mine and this is so important. Buy tickets to
Right.
this now. And you're like, okay, but would you support somebody if you needed them? Like if
Exactly.
somebody needed you to support them in any way, shape, or form, would you be able to do it right now at the drop of a hat? Again, like you said at the very beginning, support is not monetary.
It's
Support
not.
does not need to be money.
It's
A
not.
like costs nothing. A share costs
A
nothing.
repost costs nothing.
A comment costs nothing.
Nothing.
So for people to be so stingy is the only word that I can come up with right now.
You wanna know why? Because everybody's on this. I feel like.
Competition.
Yeah, you ever seen World War Z when all the zombies were trying to like get to the top? That's why I feel like this is like everybody trying to get to the top, and it's like, bro,
It's not that deep.
no,
It's never that deep.
It's never that deep.
Again, Hollywood.
It's never that deep.
People love to act like others are trying to take their spot or something along those lines, and that's just not the case.
And
People
then
hate.
on the real, what spot do you have?
Genuinely, it's
Again, let's
Charlotte.
bring it back. What?
Because people love to overestimate their importance, but at the end of the day, we are just humans.
That's it.
That's all it is. There is no such thing other than Jesus Christ himself, no such thing as a perfect being. I don't want to hear a singular word about these people that oh, I forgot that you did the little thing and it pops up like the
Right.
sometimes it'd be like that sometimes. There's no such thing at like I see it a lot of times, especially with musicians. They're like, "Oh, I'm the hottest rapper in Charlotte. I'm the coolest singer in Charlotte. I'm the this that." and the-"
Meanwhile, all of them have auto-tune on their voices.
And it's like, please stop.
All of them have-
Do you ever go to open mic nights? Do you ever collaborate with other musicians? Do you ever try to help other musicians? When have you ever shown any ounce of community in your soul? If you cannot give an exact, like, I do this for my community, I do this for my community, I share my friend's post, I like my friend's post, I comment on my friend's post, I tell people about my friend's post, I do this, that, and the third for my friends, then you cannot say shit to me.
You know who I idolize for that quote right there, who actually did it? You know JT, right? Little Uzi's girlfriend?
Yes.
JT, she did a I think it was last year. She did like a world tour, like a tour
Right.
around the country. Around the country, and basically her mindset was none of these rappers, singers, none of them are going to, like you said, open mics or
They're not gonna make it far
nightclubs
if you
or
can't.
anything like that. So when I seen her do that, I had so much respect for her because you being Little Uzi's girlfriend or JT or
That
City
part.
Girls or whatever, she went into these clubs, like these minor clubs, like around the city, and she just made the best of it. And people showed her the same exact support. So
Here's
it's like,
the thing. Here's what I will end this. Like I will use as our ending thought. If you cannot start small, if you cannot start humble, you will not make it big. And I will die on that hill horribly.
like I like to say, good business equals good business. Bad business equals P. Diddy. So, hey.
If you, and I mean that to the fullness of like everything I've ever stood on, if you can't fail, if you can't start small, if you can't understand that you are going to stumble, that you are going to hit roadblocks,
gonna
that you
cry.
are going to lose motivation, you are going to lose the followers, the friends, the sleep, the motivation. If you can't start humbly, you will not make it big.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the community, if you don't have the support, sometimes you have to understand you can start alone, but that support, when you find the right people, that support will follow. I mean,
Yes.
even with us.
Yeah.
We started with nobody here in Charlotte, and then we started hanging out.
Yeah.
The
I remember
support.
I actually set up a lunch or a dinner with you guys. I still got the pictures at Olive Garden. What's Olive Garden? No,
Outback.
Outback. Yes, and like me and her instantly clicked. Like
There was no question about it. It was, hold up, this. And from there, it's just been the energy has been, okay, cool, you need something, I got you. I need something, you got me. And it's been the back and back, and it hasn't been like,
yeah,
every friendship has stumbling blocks.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, but that's going to be anywhere you look. That's going to be everywhere you look. Actually, any perfect friendship is not a perfect friendship.
Yeah, don't.
And if it is, there are more problems under the surface than you know about. And I will fully die on that hill. But like I said a few minutes, well, I say a few and it was probably like 20 minutes ago. Community can start with one single friend. And from there, you can just go from one to the next to the next. And next thing you know, you've got your circle. And after you've got your circle of small friends, you go into your bigger circle of friends. And next thing you know, that circle just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And bigger and bigger.
And next thing you know, you've got a community.
Right.
Community is so much easier to build than people want to tell you. And the problem is, people don't want to build community because that means consistency.
That means
people are
support.
so scared of accountability and being held at, like, they need to be held accountable. Like, hey, I've been showing you all of this love and support and I have not been getting that reciprocated. Is there an issue here? What's the problem? Do I need to know something that hasn't been said?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they don't tell you. Other times they do tell you. And at the end of the day,
I feel like everything should be worked together.
Absolutely.
Everything should be worked together because at the end of the day, like how I really got tapped into photographers was really like, hey, what do you need for your portfolio? Well, I never shot this before, and 9 times out of 10 it's probably lingerie or something, but it's like, hey, I never shot this before. It's like, okay, cool, I'm down. I feel remembered. I feel remembered. What you say? But what I was saying was, I always ask them, well, what do you need for your portfolio? And they'll ask me back, well, what do you need? And
that's usually the most important thing because very quickly with that, especially with creatives, you're going to find very quickly, you're going to find out where they stand. Because real quick, if you say, hey, what do you need from me as a model? And the photographer tells you what they need, but then they don't turn around and say, hey, what do you need for your portfolio? You're going to find out real quick just how selfish they are. And that right there is one of those, like...
And 9 times out of 10, that's the same photographers that be like,
hey, no model wants to work with me.
Yeah, just model with me. Like, nah.
And then they only want you, and they try to act like it's an agency thing. And that's the whole thing. As soon as a group of people or a community is able to pull itself together and say, hey, I need this, you need this, and we can all work together and collaborate, even if it's like a switch off. Like, oh, I haven't worked with you before, but you've worked with my friend. Therefore, I feel like I can trust you enough to work. Because if my friend can say a good thing about you, I trust that I can work with you.
Right.
Because word of mouth does so much.
It's pouring into each other. And
Exactly.
not just one full cup pouring into an empty cup. Or
exactly.
Like,
it's not one-sided.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Community is collaboration, and it's never one-sided.
Yeah.
I will say we have gotten over an hour, so I will be ending this here. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for joining us.
And we will see you guys on the next one.
Yes. Oh my gosh.